Today we talk about guilt detox.
Hello everyone, welcome to our podcast Back in the Game, where we talk about how the life of women changes after they become mothers in terms of productivity, careers and self-confidence.
Hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum. I'm Dania Hamdan. I write articles about education, parenting, motherhood on B.
Hello everyone, I'm Raquel Lisboas and I'm a self-development specialist with focus in mothers who want to strengthen their self-confidence and get back in their careers.
Okay, Raquel. So today we talk about guilt detox.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's just me that we feel guilty for several things that we've done in the past with our children. And do you see it frequent in mothers?
Well, I would ask even in a different way. How often is not to see mothers feeling guilt, Because actually, I would say majority of my clients, there will be a point where they will say, I felt guilty for something, So I always joke saying that motherhood comes with a default system, and the default system is the guilt.
Also.
Yes.
So we do self-sabotage. We feel guilty.
Exactly. This all comes together in the package, but has a very high cost and a very high interest rate, I would say. Yeah. So unfortunately, that is something more often that we think. And many times we think it's only us who feels this way. And sometimes because we blame us and because we feel guilty, we think it's only us, we feel even more, feel guiltier and blame ourselves even more.
Yeah.
So, but we here today, we will learn and see ways to get rid of this feeling and return, let's say, this package to where it belongs. A package that in the first place we shouldn't even be carrying it.
It's interesting to know where it belongs, actually, now that you put it this way.
Exactly. So, and then sometimes it's a matter of perspective. So let's see it this way, let's put this all in this package and let's return it.
Okay, so let's start to return this package to where it belongs. Asking ourselves, why do we blame ourselves? Why do we so much blame ourselves?
So there are some researches from accredited universities and research institutions that would say that an average of 80 to 85% of mothers will feel guilty in a daily basis. So then let's see it from another side. Behind all this, we know that there are industries trying to sell something for us, to trying to convince us of something. And then to do that, there are some marketing strategies to be successful on that, right? They're trying to sell things for us based on this guilt that we feel. So something is wrong with us in our mind. And then in order for me to achieve that standard, that ideal standard, I need to buy something, a course or a clothes or a product or whatever to reach that standard, right? So this is one scenario. And then we add more, which is the society mindset, that this can involve culture, can involve just limiting beliefs, as we already spoke about it. And it comes also the mindset, the local mindset, let's say, of the people around you or your family and your friends. And then based on all these, we already have the guilt, but this will just escalate. And then we start having an overwhelming pressure on ourselves, because then what I'm feeling, what I'm experiencing is different from what people are telling me, from what it's supposed to be, So as more guilty we feel, as more these industries, let's say, they will benefit from this. And if we don't try to break these cycles, like by ourselves, and getting more and more people to see it differently, this cycle never ends. And then we are just always trying to fit into something that it's actually coming from out.
So basically the result is that we feel as if no one can understand what we are really feeling, because, as you said, the marketing or some common ideas and opinions in the society will make you feel like you're different from all the rest of the society.
Exactly.
And this makes us feel guilty and trying to fit in, which won't work anyway because we're not aligned with who we really are. So the feeling of guilt might even increase, thinking, oh, everyone is like this, but I'm not, I'm trying and it's not working, and so on. So this we should work on this.
And the thing is, unfortunately, there is a lack of compassion from in two ways, actually, from people towards ourselves and from ourselves towards ourselves. So this lack of compassion, it makes the weight of this guilt even heavier. And the thing is, because of those mindsets of the society, of people, somehow we were convinced that we are not allowed to talk about the struggles. And we are not allowed to talk about what is not really going well. So many women also, they suffer in silence. And this I experienced myself. I had some struggles with breastfeeding, and only after I went through that struggle and talking to other women, I found out that this is much more common than we think. And that's when I felt, oh, okay, that's all right. Because before that, I always felt, what's wrong with me? I'm the only one going through this. It's my fault, or is it something wrong with me, or is it with my child, or so why I don't fit into this?
You're thinking maybe all women of all the history, all eras, just breastfed them.
It's natural, without... it's beautiful. Because actually that's what how it looks. It's how it looks, and that's what I always heard. It's natural, it's your instinct. When time comes, it will just happen, but it didn't. And then, it starts all this, and I felt so guilty at that time. So this is just one example, but it can apply to different kinds of situations. So we have to be aware. We have to have compassion towards ourselves and towards others also, not only the mothers, as I always say, everybody, and be aware about it's okay, we are humans, we do mistakes, and we should give the room for those mistakes sometimes, And it's about also, I think we were talking about that other day, you and me. People were not there listening, so we need to share. But it's about what is the average of what is the average in your life. So it's the average, as you said, are you more patient and kind most of the time, or are you more nervous? That's more or less what you said, right? You can correct me if I'm saying it wrong. And then I will put it in my way, as I told you before. It's about making, let's say, the rule of your life. So the rule of my life is that I try to have the control of my emotions, and then I treat my kids kind, and then, peaceful. But there will be the exceptions, a day that I'm not doing so good, and that maybe that day I will be a little bit overwhelmed and I won't have the same patience as the other days. But that's the exception. So we should have the rule, and the exceptions will happen, and not have the exception of always being stressed and nervous and yelling as the rule, and the exception is that you are kind.
Exactly.
So that's something important to keep in mind and be aware.
Yeah, I think there is also wisdom why sometimes we're not patient, basically, because life in general, it's not only kindness, respect, and tolerance, and all these kinds of things. And sometimes, yes, we somehow can't do it the way it should be done. But I think this also, as we also say in some other episodes, this also can prepare our children to face the world, And for example, I make a mistake, I go to my child and say sorry. They learn what to do after they make a mistake. They learn that the world is not only kindness and compassion. People, we all make mistakes. Even your parent, who is your role model, can make mistakes, and you can learn how to make up and all of this.
Exactly. Yeah, we are all humans, and we are here to learn. We don't always do things right. We do right things, and we do also wrong things sometimes. And I will also invite the people as we talk about some of the things that we spoke in other episodes. So if you are listening to this or watching this and you still didn't hear or watch the other episodes, just go back and listen to it, because it's gonna complete the whole idea that we are also talking about here.
So what are the 3 most common lies that we tell ourselves about what a perfect mom should be?
Well, yes, let me think.
Only 3, okay?
Yeah, okay, that's hard. But the idea that a well-behaved kid comes from a well-dedicated mother. So well-dedicated mother equals well-behaved kids. But, and then this is first one, we don't consider that kids, they are just kids. They are learning. They are not fully developed. They throw tantrums sometimes for small things for us, but for them it's something big. And then sometimes in the breakfast, they just want to have chocolates or ice cream. They throw a tantrum there, which is in the eyes of some people that it's a not well-behaved kid.
And it's because of the mom.
Exactly. So it goes, well, this mother is not really well dedicated, and she's not doing a very good job. She's not able to control her kids. This is first one, but we forget to think that these kids, they are kids and they are developing.
Of course, yeah.
That's their nature, and they will do that. The other thing is a well-maintained house. It's a result of a happy mother. So happy mother equals a well-organized home. But we all know that this
does not exist.
Exactly. And that one thing doesn't really have to do much with the other thing. You have kids, and most probably your house won't be as organized as before, or most of the time there will be a mess there. And it's not because you are not happy that your house is like this, not because you are not good enough that your house is like this. It's just a period, and it's just how it is, But many mothers, they will blame themselves, thinking, my house is not well maintained, it's not well organized, and this is because of me. Yes. I'm not doing the things properly. Manager. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And the other thing I would say is, a good mother doesn't lose her patience. And I would say this one is a very strong one. I think it often happens, and it happened to me a lot before. And when you lose your patience, like you have this ideal that you want to be like the reference, let's say, of a good mother that you want to be. And then if it goes out of that, and then one day you lose the patience, it ruins everything.
Yeah.
So you think that, okay, I'm not a good mother because I lose myself, I lose my patience. And then you just have to understand that one day or another you will lose that patience, and maybe you are tired, maybe you are hungry, you're sleepy, you are whatever. Then you lost, and then it goes back to what I said, like it's the average, what is the rule and what is the exception.
The problem is that sometimes we identify ourselves with our mistakes. We are not our mistakes, most of the time. I mean, we kind of manage the things decently.
Yes.
Sometimes, like every human being on the earth, we can't. We don't.
And that's a very good point, because it comes to that average thing. So what do you do most of the time, And then, so because of this 1 or 2 mistakes that you did, you're gonna nullify or ruin all the good things that you did. No, it's much more what you do as kindness, as what is right to do than the day that you lost.
Exactly. And also that after we make a mistake, it's not like we're proud of the mistake we made and that's why we are our mistakes. Because it's true, some people don't see their mistakes and they keep acting upon their mistakes, and that's another thing. But you are what you try to do also after you make a mistake.
Exactly.
So you try to improve, you try to make up, then you fall again, and then you try again, you fall again, try again. This is how life goes.
And that's what you do with the mistake, you know? So it's not only about the mistake, but what do you do with that then? So this is what is important. Mistake will always be there. There won't be a day that we will not do mistakes anymore. But it's how you see the mistake, it's how you use the mistake, and then that's the next level that we should try to reach.
Then what is the first step that we can do to start stopping this cycle?
Okay, so one exercise that we can do, it's again about writing, okay? And let's see the writing as a way to put out things from our minds, you know, to take this out of my mind, take this out of my body, actually. So take a paper, take a pen, write a letter that will be for yourself. And then you're going to start this letter saying, I forgive, like, for example, if it's me who is doing, and then I put my name, I forgive Raquel, Lisboa, for yelling at my children, for thinking that I'm not good enough, for not being as kind as I would like to be. Put everything that is disturbing you, everything that is bringing guilt. The purpose is to empty yourself from the guilt. It's to empty your mind, heart, and yourself from whatever is disturbing you, you know? So make it, don't save words, put as much as you can, and really empty it out. Okay? Forgive yourself. I forgive Raquel's voice for this, and make the list. After you finish, take this paper, and you have two options. Either you burn it, or you tear it off in very small pieces with the purpose.
Yes.
Make it this as a ritual of you are letting it go. You know, take this out of yourself. Let this guilt go, and you forgive yourself for that. Let it go, and repurpose the thoughts as these mistakes doesn't erase my qualities, doesn't erase the fact that I am a good mother. And replace the thoughts by I'm also learning, I'm also in this journey to learn, to evolve.
You know, actually, you just reminded me of a saying in Islam. It says that if I'm going to say the concept because I don't remember the
word by word.
Word by word exactly. That if the human being would be perfect, which it means does not make mistake and so on, God would replace these creatures with creatures that would make mistakes and repent, you know, because they acknowledge they made a mistake and improve and so on.
Nice. I like that.
Yes.
And that's it's reinforced the belief I have that we are all here to evolve, you know. So we are, let's say, creatures in development. You know, we are building something day by day. So we don't come just ready made, you know. So these things are present, and the mistakes are opportunities to learn, to grow, to evolve.
It's actually a small sense of guilt is useful to understand that something went wrong. You made something wrong. But it does not have to last like the major feeling that you feel like you feel guilty. Okay, you're healthy because you perceive that something you did something wrong. But this does not have to be the rule in the way you feel. You know. So that's what you should work on. Not on not feeling guilty at all, but to give it the right space in you and the right importance. Yes, I feel guilty. Okay, what can I do now to make the thing better, to improve myself? What can I do? So this.
People normally do a mistake, especially when they seek for the guidance of a coach or a mentor, psychologist or whatever. They do a mistake thinking that all these things will go away. They will not exist anymore, you know, and it's not true. You know, the guilt, the fear, the insecurities, anxiety, all these, they will always be there, and they should be there, but with the right amount, you know, because actually, as we spoke before in other episodes, we spoke about fears, and the fears are there to actually alert yourself from something, you know. And the guilt also, it's a kind of a flag to say, oh yeah, I did a mistake. Because if the mistake, the guilt is not there, then we're just doing like that's it.
Oh my God, would be
it would be crazy chaos in the world, and we will hurt everybody, and we will be hurt anyways. So it is important to be there as like, okay, it's a flag, like I'm alert, I did this mistake, and then now what can I do? You know, either to fix or either to not repeat in the next time. So it's how, again, it's about the emotional intelligence that we have. How long do I stay in this feeling? And what do I do with this? This is what, you know, the level of emotional intelligence that we want to reach. The feelings will always be there. The feelings are part of us as humans. But it's how we manage that. That's how it's called intelligence, emotional intelligence.
I have a question. It's a bit personal, so feel free if you don't want to answer. Do you still have this guilt feeling in you? And if yes, what are your techniques, to manage it with yourself?
What do you think?
Yes.
Right answer, score.
I passed the test.
You passed. Very good. Very good. It was
a hard question.
Yes, yes, but it is still there. I must say maybe it's less than it used to be. I was a champion in what it comes to feeling guilty and blaming myself, especially in the motherhood. But now it's much less. And usually how I deal with my guilt at the moment, and this is a very good exercise. This changed a lot in my life, a lot of things in my life. So when you do a mistake, first thing, think, did I do on purpose? Yeah. And then you see the answer. Normally is, no, I didn't do on purpose. So I shouldn't really feel guilty because I didn't do on purpose.
Okay.
But if I did on purpose and then think, okay, I did on purpose, that wasn't really nice, that was a little bit mean or something, then comes other questions. Can I still do something to fix this now? If yes, then do it. If it doesn't, then all right. Can I at least say sorry? What can I do now? And what can I do to avoid this next time? So assess and use this again as a learning. But I think this first step of seeing, did I do on purpose or not, it already changes a lot. Because nobody wants to do a mistake, or like nobody wants to feel guilty. So you're not gonna do something on purpose, And if you did, then do this other part of the exercise. This helps me a lot, trust me, and not only in the motherhood, in all the senses, in all the areas of my life.
So in the beginning, we say that we feel alone, basically, in our mistakes. We think that we only make these mistakes, we only feel guilty this way, and so on. So sometimes sharing with other people, or being in a community, or finding a group or something, where you can share your thoughts or get information, about from other people and so on. Do you have a suggestion from that point of view?
Yes, for sure. So here, I want to share with you guys about the WhatsApp group. It's a VIP WhatsApp group. So who is listening to this podcast, go to the description of this video. If you are watching here on YouTube, go there, check the link of the WhatsApp. I have two groups. One is in English, one is in Portuguese. Then you choose whatever language is suitable for you and join the community. There you can meet other mothers and you can get extra information and be in your, let's say, in your village of mothers. Yeah. I must say that I keep the group most of the times silenced, but there will be the time where I open for interaction. It's just to keep it like to not add more in the life of mothers, not to create more anxiety or more, hectic things. So, but there will be the time of interaction. So I will wait for you there.
See you there then.
And see you there, yes. Well, and thanks so much for listening to this podcast. I hope you enjoyed as much as we did. And we see you in the next season, right? Because this was the last episode of this season.
The first season.
Yeah.
Yes, there will be a next one.
Great. So we see you there.
See you.
See you.